Yeah, I got kicked out when I was about 18. Parents, I moved out and that was it. I never returned. They were like, you can't, you know what I mean? You don't have a home really. And that's where it all started going downhill for me. Yeah, I was able to buy a home for my wife, provide for my daughter, show a great man example for my daughter. All those things are a part of this company. It helped me build myself to be me.
Welcome to the Waste No Day podcast, a podcast specifically for and about the home services industry as it relates to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. More than a podcast, Waste No Day is a credo, a determination, a mindset. It is a never-ending discipline. It is a refuse to lose pursuit. It is a wake-up call every morning to waste no day. Now here's your hosts, Brian Burton and Nate Minnick.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Waste No Day podcast. We are super excited to be hanging out with you again. Nate and Brian, your hosts, are joining you on a new Monday morning with a new topic and a new guest. This time we're focusing on determination with a great story from my man, Jon Perez. He's joining us later today to talk about his story and how the trades literally changed his life. But before we jump into that, we're going to hear from Brian with our quote.
You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. William Faulkner.
All right, kind of a ships are burning type of thing.
Yeah, I guess you could throw a Cortez.
Yeah, the Cortez thing
in there. Yeah.
All right, for those of you not aware, when Mr. Cortez landed in Mexico, he was hiking with his troops up the mountain. They looked back and the ships were on fire. That was not an accident. That was intentional because Cortez wanted the men to be 100% determined to continue with their mission and not looking back.
Yeah, there was no sailing home.
No sailing home. And that's the type of story that we want to hear about with our guest today, who's going to be joining us. We'll put him in our passenger seat later. But for right now, we want to talk a little bit about determination.
Yeah, determination, just for the simple fact that, as you'll hear in Jon's story, he, as I recall from knowing him when he was younger, he went through a lot to get where he is today, and never, I guess more than determination, he never lost his smile. That guy has been
it's plastered on him.
A beacon of positivity every step of the way, no matter how much he struggled, and we have seen him struggle quite a bit. But you would never know it from his face. So he was determined, but still optimistic. And we get guys come through here who are miserable no matter how good life treats them, or no matter how good things seem to be going with them on the outside. And I don't want to say that people don't go through things that other people don't know about, but I do want to say that attitude is a choice, 100%. And look no further than my buddy Jon Perez to see how choosing to be optimistic not only brought him through tough times, but it will keep him progressing as long as I have something to do with his career immensely, because that's somebody I can always count on to make me in a little bit better mood when I'm not in a great mood, or just make life seem a little bit easier by way of his enthusiasm.
Yeah, Brian, I think perspective is such a powerful thing, and it's so easy to forget that because, you get into a situation or an environment and you live there for so long, and before long you lose sight of what else is out there. And you could have came from a terrible organization and go into a good organization, and you have a different perspective than somebody who only grew up in the good organization, because you can always hearken back to, well, it's better than that time, or man, this place is so much different, or oh man, you have no idea how bad it really can be. And those perspectives can be game changing for us. And sometimes we see it with younger people coming into business who, like, they get dissatisfied after a little bit because I mean, this is going to sound kind of prideful, but we believe we have a good thing here, and they kind of grow up in it, and then they never actually experience anything besides that good thing. It's one of those grass is greener on the other side of the fence type scenarios, where then you start kind of looking over there and seeing what's out there. But if you have been the person who's actually been on both sides of the fence, and you've seen that the grass is not actually greener over there, in fact, that was all a mirage, and the grass that you had originally was the best, that's when that perspective really comes in and helps settle in that determination that I am in a good place and I'm going to grow here, put down roots, and blossom. So it's that type of thinking that really provides for a good perspective on life that can bring about gratitude and just a willingness to go on with that great attitude.
Absolutely. Before we bring Jon in, I wanted to throw a special thank you out there to Melissa Mel Ruddy, who works for Jim Collins and is helping with his new book project that they're working on. For those who do know Jim Collins, he's the author of the book Good to Great and Built to Last. And we here are huge fans of Good to Great. Well, everything Jim Collins works on, frankly, is always gold. But Good to Great in particular had a big impact on my career early, and has helped, I don't know, tens of thousands of businesses, you think? Or hundreds of thousands of businesses move from probably bad to good, and then good to great, hopefully. And we highly recommend this book to anyone who hasn't read it. I don't care what your position is, because as I told Mel, who works with Jim, we're in talks with them trying to see if we can get Jim to come on the podcast and talk about Good to Great and the project he's currently working on. But just for the effort and for having spent some time going back and forth with their team, we opened up a box, was the other day, that got sent to the shop, and it was 2 copies of Jim Collins' Good to Great book.
Yeah.
And they are both autographed, specifically to me and specifically to Nate. So
Appreciate that.
Huge. For Brian, with best wishes, Jim Collins. Yeah, that was a huge deal for both of us. Me in particular, because I don't know how many times I've been through this book, or at least my ears have been through the audiobook.
Yeah.
But it's had a huge impact on me, so I just wanted to say thank you to Mel. And best wishes to her and to Jim and to their team and what they're working on here. I can't wait to get a hold of this new book when it comes out.
Yeah, speaking of book, that kind of is a good segue into the story that Jon is going to be helping us understand and walking us through here in a little bit, where the turning of a page makes a complete difference in the story. And that turning of a page, that new chapter, can be the opportunity. And in so many ways, for Jon and his story, it was the opportunity of getting into the trades, and then what that has turned him into and has done for him and his family. And it's that message that we continue to just be really excited about and want to spread the good news to as many people who are out there considering either career change or just getting out of school and trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. The opportunity of the home services industry is just immense, and there's such a need for good people to be in it.
Absolutely. Speaking of determination, I don't like talked about me, but for once, I'm going to turn this mic on myself.
Okay. Thank you.
I reluctantly started 75 hard Monday with I'm not sure my wife is still doing it, to be perfectly honest. Well, shoot, as this episode airs, it would be like 2.5 weeks ago. I probably still am no longer still on this 75 hard program now that this thing's airing. But Mike Vavrick, our call center manager here, also started it with me. And it was funny that, so what's 75 hard? For those who don't know, Andy Frisella started this program, and it is, number 1, follow a strict diet. This can be a diet of your choice, but it has to be a structured plan designed with a physical improvement in mind. So that can be, intermittent fasting. Like, say, I don't eat from 8 p.m. till 11 a.m. Or what I did was all added sugar. I'm cutting out anything that has sugar added to it, period, for 75 days. Number 2, you must complete 2 45-minute workouts per day every one of these 75 days.
I'm out.
And one of them has to be outdoors.
Oh, I'm out times 2. It's getting cold.
Couldn't have picked a worse time in Pennsylvania to start this thing, but here we go. So what we're doing for the second, I work out in the gym in the morning, so that's not a huge deal. But the second workout, I'm trying to incorporate like a hike with the kids it's more like an hour and a half, but in the evenings. So number 3, absolutely no alcohol or cheat meals for 75 days. This one,
Brian's out.
Yeah, this one's, believe it or not, it's not too difficult, although I do like a nice IPA craft beer from time to time. It's something I can definitely live without, and it's probably better for me anyway. Number 4, take a progress picture every day. I actually have completely forgotten to do that this entire week, so I'm just going to take 5 when I get home. Number 5, you have to drink a gallon of water a day. Not a massive shift for me because I start with 32 ounces every morning, but man, am I making a lot of pit stops these days. I didn't realize how far I had been from a gallon of just straight water on top of anything else you drink. So it's got to be that gallon of water separate from anything else. So yeah, I'm even having to get up in the middle of the night now. It's just ridiculous. And then last but not least, one that is somewhat difficult for me to find time for with the 4 kids and the dog and the cat and the, two businesses and the
Zoo
podcast, and is read 10 pages of a book. Audiobooks do not count. 0 compromise, 0 substitution. You have until you go to sleep each day to complete all of these. If you fail one time, you must start over on day 1.
Does Garfield count?
The book?
Yeah.
You think I'm not counting kids' books, bro? I got 4 kids.
The little engine that could.
So I started Monday morning, and it was like, I don't know what time it was when we found this box that was just sitting on my desk. We cracked the box open, and here are 2 autographed copies of Good to Great. So just wanted to throw that in there. And again, thank you, Mel, for making that happen for no particular reason. We did nothing to earn or deserve this other than heap our praise onto that team for what an amazing work this book, Good to Great, is.
Yeah, that is an amazing book. And of course, Mr. Collins is a revolutionary author and has done so much for so many. And that's kind of the same example of like how that revolutionary book has done so much for so many in business. The trades has done so much for so many in personal life. We're going to hear more about that type of thinking with Jon's story as we put Jon Perez in your passenger seat. Our guest today is Jon Perez. He is a 5-year plumber with our organization, actually. So Brian and I have the pleasure of working with him at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He came to us straight out of the trade schools and kind of cut his teeth working new construction over summers, and then made his way into the residential service industry with us. With that, welcome to the show, Jon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
It's about time we finally put this one together.
Yeah, right.
It's a big one.
This is exciting, yeah.
Jon is part of the first class where it was you and me, right, Nate? Went and spoke at Thaddeus Stevens.
Yes, sir.
Did I?
Yep.
I know I was there once.
You did, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Y'all both were there.
Nice.
Went and spoke at one of the local trade schools here.
Well, be honest. Was it me or Brian that convinced you?
I'm going to have to say B, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nate.
B decides what
Hey,
calls he gets.
well, hey,
Monday. Let's
we're
not
going to bring
forget.
this in for a landing
right.
here. So, Jon, it was nice having you on the show.
Yeah, right.
Already with the landing.
Jeez.
It's a
It's
record.
kicking me out.
It's somehow our most entertaining episode still.
Yeah. Oh,
That's cool, man. Hey, we want to hear about your story and how you got into this whole mess that we call the plumbing world.
Yeah, right.
So why don't you start us off at, kind of where you were in high school, coming out of high school, maybe even before that. I don't know what got you interested in working with your hands, and we'll dig in from there. All right, man?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. When I was in high school, I didn't know what I was going to do out of high school. I was actually getting ready to enlist into the Marines.
Okay.
And then I had a mentor at the time which said, why don't we try a trade school? And We went over to the trade, like Stevens, did a little walk around.
That's Thaddeus Stevens College.
Yeah, Thaddeus Stevens College.
Lancaster,
Yeah. We did a little walk around. I met our teacher. She had a whole mullet.
Is that Joe?
Yeah, Miss Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome. After I met her, then she kind of guided me to.
I bet she did.
Take up plumbing.
Miss Joe
Yeah.
was in love with Jon
Yeah,
Perez.
she did. Yeah.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she's funny. No, she's something special. Yeah, to me.
Nice.
Yeah, she guided me through Stevens and everything, so she helped me.
Yeah.
And then
So in high school, like, what was it that made you feel unsure of what you wanted to do? I mean, it's not unusual, obviously, for a lot of people in high school, but, you know, did you have an interest in working with your hands, or what was it that kind of prompted you to say, oh, you know what, I'd at least like to go check out what a trade school would look like? What
Right.
what was that?
well, I didn't know what to do because I wasn't a school guy or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to go to a 4-year school.
Right.
That was a negative no, right? Like that's a no right off the bat. So I was confused in that, and I didn't want a office job either or anything. So yeah, I knew how to work with my hands my whole entire life. So
Did you have hobbies or anything?
sports. That's it.
Sports,
Yeah,
okay.
I was 100% into sports, basketball, football, and track and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I was more of like a physical person than more of like sitting back behind some like a desk and
Yeah, kind of like
yeah.
Brian does.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't going to be plumbing, it was going to be the armed services.
Exactly. Yeah, Marines. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went there, did something when you went to the college and kind of did that walkthrough and met the professors and saw the campus and those types of things, was something in you clicked and said, like, this is what I want to do? Or were you still kind of in debate mode about, like, you know, maybe the Marines, maybe plumbing, I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, after meeting Tyndall and her saying the possibilities of me making good money in the plumbing trade,
Sealed the deal.
yeah, that's what did it for me. Cause
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that situation, I was more focused on money and getting more money
Yeah.
where I was at that point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you decided to take the leap, graduated high school,
Mhm.
and started at Thaddeus, which is a 2-year trade college. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. So let's jump in there. What was life like in trade schools, and you know, how did it go for you?
Yeah, it was hell. I'll be honest with you. The 3-year, I actually did a 3-year program.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So the first, it's called a pre-major
Is
program.
that like Brian? He took 14 years to graduate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian,
Exactly.
Brian didn't graduate.
Yeah. So they only allow a certain amount of students in
Okay.
in a class or whatever. So unfortunately, I was one too many.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So they offered me the major program.
You could take like your gen eds.
Gen
and that
eds,
type of
exactly.
stuff,
Yeah. So knock out some gen eds and get that out the way. But yeah, and then from there started going to school.
Yeah.
It wasn't too good.
Was it easy for you to adapt to plumbing? Had you ever done plumbing in your life before that? Have you ever done
No.
any trade before that?
No, I didn't even know how to read a tape measure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was from scratch.
Oh,
Some
Yeah.
would say he still hasn't learned.
Nah, get out of here, man. Yeah, but again, that goes all the way to Miss T. Like Miss T broke it down for me, and she knew I wasn't a book guy, so
Yeah.
like she understood that, and she sat down with me and broke it down for me to where I could understand. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
That's awesome to have somebody who took such an interest in you and making sure that
Exactly.
you were coming along.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Okay, so tell us about the experience. Like, how exactly you've never picked up a power tool,
Mm-hmm.
or very rarely, I'm guessing, in your life prior to that, and like now all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're starting to use hole saws and sawzalls and drills and everything else. Like, what was that like?
That was a complete. Yeah, that was a mess, man.
was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good time.
Yeah.
Show me your fingers.
Yeah.
Look at- they're all still
They
there.
got a
How
bunch
about that?
Yeah, but they got a bunch of scars on them, man. Yeah, it was a great experience, like that transition and everything, learning everything. It was great. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Pretty much,
you
yeah.
didn't feel like, did you just kind of
I was.
fall right into it? Like you
Yeah.
became a natural?
Yeah, it was like natural because like Miss T would teach us how to use these things,
Yeah.
like these tools and everything. as long as you pay attention, you're good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What about then when you started getting into the actual like technical piece of plumbing, where you had to figure out slopes and different angles and those types of things, what was it like starting to learn all that from scratch with no background?
Yeah, that was a mess. Yeah, that took a lot of studying and chilling with Miss T.
Yeah.
After the class, yeah.
And was your classroom set up in a way that you could actually like go out and start throwing pipes together and soldering and whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss T gave us like some time during the class to go through like some copper if you want to practice on copper, connecting cast iron, cutting cast iron, which we rarely do.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Have you done that since you've been here?
Yeah, put cast iron in.
Like use the chain cutters or anything?
No.
Not one time.
Nah, I used the Sawzall with the diamond blade.
Oh, gotcha.
Or
yeah, I'm
a
sorry. I'm old
circular
school.
saw, yeah.
We didn't have the diamond blades when I was in a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, so we used the Sawzall or circular saw, yeah.
Okay.
So you were with her in first year, and then you had Mr. Skimsky in.
Yeah, so I did my pre-major program the first year. Second year was Miss T. Third year was Mr. Ski. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And then you and Brandon Hernandez, your buddy who came here with you.
Best friends, yep.
You guys were in all three together?
Yep, all
Okay.
three, yeah.
He went to 3 years as well?
Yeah, because
nice.
he didn't apply till after, like, summer already started.
yeah.
Like, he was way late when he applied.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was there, I do what I usually do at those classes, which is like, hey, if you want to come see me at, I promote like a selling culture, a culture of, upselling and selling aren't words I love to use. There's presenting options and showing people everything we offer and letting them decide if something that we offer is for them, which a lot of people in the trades aren't huge fans of, at least where I came up. Most of the guys didn't like that kind of thing. They just consider it like used car sales.
Mm-hmm.
I stand in front of the classroom and I turn my back to the class as part of my presentation, and I say, I'm going to write a word on the board, and I want you guys to tell me the first thing that comes to mind after I write it.
Yeah.
And I write selling tech, and
Right.
then I say keep it PG. And here just out comes scumbag and these
Jeez,
car
yeah.
salesmen and all these words. And
What was JP's response to that?
Yeah.
I don't turn around. I keep my back
okay.
to the because I don't, I don't want to hold any grudges.
Yeah.
But that's what happens at every class, whether be it CTC, whichever schools I would go speak to. And then I go through my presentation on how what we teach is that, but it's not the way you think it is. It's very professional, options based. I compare it to, being at Walmart or the grocery store and them having these handy little things that they think you'll probably buy if you see them right there at the checkout register. That's all we do. We just show what we offer because most of our clients don't know what we offer. The vast majority of our clients, when I was in a truck here, did not know we did water treatment. They all had Kinetico systems, which we don't even offer because they did not know that we did water treatment. A large portion of our clients don't know that we do drain cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's not advertised, so it's not something they think about. They think about the roto, whatever, or the
Snake, yeah.
Captain Rooter or what have you. So my thing, what has always been to give them options of show them everything we offer. If they want to pick some stuff, let them pick some stuff. But if not, no big deal. We'll see them next time they need us. So I go through all that. And then at the end, I say, if you want to come work for me, or at least come and interview with me, don't come up to me after the class. Don't show up at the shop and knock on the door. Show your teacher that you deserve the opportunity. And what does that look like? Get here on time. Be presentable. Don't look like you just rolled out of bed because you're not going to be able to work here if you do that. Just show from today on, you have a clean slate with your teacher and show him or her that you deserve this opportunity. Not everybody wants to come work here, and I'm not saying they do, but a few who do, this is how you get there. So, but again, don't come talk to me after the class. Don't show up at the shop. Just show your teacher that this is what you want, and they'll tell you how to get there.
And after 24 interviews, we finally got Jon.
Nope. 2 minutes after I ended my talk, I'm standing out there with both teachers, and Jon and Brandon came walking right up to me. Hey, bro, we want to come work for you.
We had our resumes ready and everything.
Yep. And what did I say? I like their attitude. They're in. It did take some selling on my part, but I do specifically remember Jon and Brandon both saying, after we interviewed, I feel like this is the place I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Brandon is no longer with us. Brandon is now a member of the SWAT team.
Yes, sir.
In York, Pennsylvania, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Appreciate your service, Brandon.
Yeah, buddy.
That's awesome, man. He went through hell week on that one.
Yeah, literally, right?
Yeah. He came home.
They have a hell week.
He's dead. He came home. He's like 20 pounds lighter.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, sheesh, dude. Like, you went through it. Yeah.
And we'll do another episode with Brandon. Maybe Brandon and Jon.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, Brandon liked it so much that I don't know, a couple years after he was gone, he and Jon together helped Brandon's brother get in here, who is now a successful plumber for us, who went through an apprenticeship and is now kicking butt for us. Billy.
Shout out to Billy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy.
Awesome. So Jon, you're in the middle of college, learning the trade, kind of getting things under. Where's your mindset at now? Like, when you entered into school, you probably thought, hey, maybe this could be something. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're a year and a half, 2 years into this thing, do you have a different belief at that point, or are you still kind of feeling unknown?
Once I'm going through the whole program?
Or getting towards that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Once I'm like mid first year, yeah, this is for me. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
You're all in at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
So then it was a matter of figuring out what you wanted to do when you got out of it, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like, if I want to be in the service, construction, I didn't know,
Right. So how many, like, you would have had guys like Brian coming in, and I'm assuming you would have had other people also in the residential services coming in, and perhaps even some commercial services coming in, right?
Yeah.
What was it about Brian or about the residential side of things that interested you more than perhaps commercial?
Please, it was all Brian. What are you talking about? You were there, Nate. You remember.
It's
amazing.
There's no way I'm actually putting that on record.
Yeah. It was the character of Brian, really, and yourself, and you.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. I appreciate that.
It was all that personality.
Yeah. It's all about like the personality and stuff.
Like, that guy asks really good questions, man.
Yeah, it looked like he enjoyed what he does, So everyone else just came in, and it was like it was just miserable. Like, they hated the fact that they were there. That's what I got from them. Brian wasn't like that. Brian had a bunch of energy.
Yeah.
So
I see my people in those schools,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go through trade school. I dropped out of high school, but and this is no shot at the men and women in those classes, but the men and women in those classes, they're not 4-year degree people.
Yep.
They're not going to an Ivy League school and off to work for Google or something like that. I feel like the vast majority of people who end up in a trade school, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's it.
Yeah.
Like they don't have many options. Desk full of options. It's just like, I got to get something in quick. I'm about to be the age where mom and dad are going to kick me out here.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out my way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what happened to me. I got kicked out.
What do you mean by
mom
that?
and dad?
Go into that.
I got kicked out when I was about 18.
Oh, wow.
Parents, I moved out, and that was it. I never returned. They were like, you can't, you don't have a home, really. And that's where it all started going downhill for me, really.
So graduation day, high school hits, and you got nowhere to go.
I got nowhere to go.
Wow.
Yeah. I was sleeping in 1999 Toyota Corolla during the breaks.
Whoa.
And my wife now knew that I was doing this. She fed me through KFC. She worked at KFC.
Wow.
So I pull up on the drive-thru. She's like, "Here you go, babe." I'm like, "Thanks, babe." Yeah.
Wow.
But she knew, but there's nothing she could have done, Like, she lives with her parents, so you know what I mean? I couldn't do anything. So I started working at a little gas station, Turkey Hill, and made like $70 every 2 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
And I had to try to make that last, until the next paycheck. So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
that puts a whole nother perspective on things right there.
Yeah.
So when we met that first time?
Yeah.
Were you sleeping in your car at that time?
When we met, no, I was in the dorms because you came in during the school year. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the dorm, but
in the summers,
I would go couch to couch, sleep in my car. It's pretty it. And my dorm room was on the first floor, so I would leave the window unlocked and crawl in through the window.
Oh my word!
Wow. Yeah. So that was it. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is.
So how's that look now, buddy? You still sleeping in a 99 Corolla?
Heck no. Sleeping in a nice queen size bed.
Yeah, and
it even has the remotes where you can come up and.
Are you renting said house with a queen size bed in it? Or?
No, sir. I bought my house when I was 26. Yeah,
my man, 26
By
years
the
old.
age of
That's
26.
that's incredible.
Ben Franklin really changed my life, and that's why I'm forever grateful to this company.
Jon Perez
in my
changed
situation.
Jon Perez's life.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but
a lot of people have had the same opportunity and not done anything with it. So
yeah,
it's not us, buddy.
Yeah,
that's the exciting part of your story, and because how many other people in your graduating class of high school were in the same situation as you?
probably none.
Well, but I mean, like, it's like I don't know where I'm going. I don't have any direction. I don't have anybody speaking in my life. I don't even know if I have a house.
Right.
I'm guessing a lot of people were in that situation, right?
Yeah, it wasn't just me because, like Brian was saying earlier, like, half of everyone has a story.
Right.
You know, like they're going through something in this school, and no one knows. You know, because we all put a front. We smile. You know, everything's cool. Yeah, you don't need to know. You know.
Yeah.
Not even Brandon knew a little bit, but not all of it. That I was sleeping in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only knew that, like, I can't go home. So,
yeah, that's something. And then I think Brian hit that spot on, right? So, yes, the plumbing field gave you the opportunity, but it's your capitalization of that opportunity that makes a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so that's a big kudos to you, man,
Thank
because
you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
the door got put in front of you, or you walked up to it, but you still had to choose to walk through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that came with work. You had to put in the work, right?
I really did, because when I first started, what was my ticket average? $200.
Not when you first started. You came out of the gate with some raw enthusiasm and just was on fire. Now there was a lot of backup support to help you get the stuff put in.
Yeah.
But
John's trying to solder PVC over there.
There was a time when it got down as low as $200, and you were kind of burned out, I would say. That's when you and Katie picked up and moved to Florida.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And I remembered you called talking about you were moving back. So I think you guys were pregnant.
Yeah, Katie got
and wanted to be back by family.
I was talking to you way before that, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, hang on, we're kind of jumping ahead there. Let's go back to finishing out college. So you finished out college. You obviously had the conversation with Brian. Mm-hmm. You decided to start your career in Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, in the plumbing industry. We do residential service for sure. What was it like coming straight out of school and then actually being placed in front of real live customers who actually have real life problems that you're going to fix?
That was very, very hard for me. Just because, like you were saying earlier, was the selling. But that's how I saw it. I saw it as selling, not servicing our
So give an example of like what you would have been turned off to.
The big numbers, giving them the opportunity to purchase a water filtration system or something like that. That
you just would have been adverse to that. Like,
I'm not
he was.
Yeah,
John had a challenge with presenting out of his own wallet.
Exactly.
Big
yeah,
time.
that's it.
There was a big.
I wouldn't buy this. You know, why
right.
would they?
I can't afford.
Yeah,
$5,000 for whatever for
that's
a tankless water heater. How in the world could this family?
Mm-hmm. So that was my biggest obstacle with that transition.
Well, that makes sense considering your living conditions and what you had gotten through.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So that getting out of that broke mindset was like my success. You know what I mean? Like just being able to break through that is what helped me sell a lot more. And yeah.
Now you said broke mindset. I do think that's an actual state of mind that people exist in. Talk to us a little bit about what that meant, even outside of plumbing.
Outside of plumbing, well, you're broke, you know? That's it. You're broke, and you just don't want to buy anything because you're broke. You don't want any, you expect customers not to buy because you're broke. And that was it, yeah.
But like, what does that do for, do you end up kind of looking for handouts or like looking for that type of like, I'm the world's just against me?
Yeah, well, you feel a little down. Yeah, you start.
Sure.
Yeah, you start beating yourself up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it about you that made you break out of that?
To be honest, being able to provide security for my wife, because she helped me through it. So that was that. And being able to like see him, like when I met Brian and everything and stuff like that, seeing that he was young, he has a house, stuff like that. Seeing young people reaching these goals, it's like, it's totally possible. So
you want it better for yourself.
Exactly.
And your
Yeah.
family.
I just wanted it for me to be able to say I did this, and
It's awesome.
Yeah,
So you jump into it with both feet. You're in front of people. You're dealing with kind of some of your own head trash, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to work through that. Where was it that you kind of came to a place of being burned out?
Burnt out. It was that big transition of like working so many hours, like the on call and everything like that. But that was my own fault because I was rushing through the calls. So that meant I'm running more calls. You know what I mean? Because you're going to continue to put more calls on me if I burned them. Not
the calls you necessarily want either.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm burning them. Like if I take my time with one customer and try to build this relationship and give them great options and everything or whatever they need, maybe my life will get better. So yeah, that's what I did.
There was a point too where I remember you went from saying stuff all the time like, I don't know about this selling stuff. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Like I can't sell. Maybe I'm just not cut out for selling. And it used to make me bang my head against my desk. Stop trying to sell, John.
Yeah. And that was it.
Just show them what we have and give them options. And it was funny because I remember almost to the day where new guys would start coming in and John would go, man, don't even worry about that selling stuff, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't selling. His whole vocabulary changed one day. And he's like, don't even call it selling because you're not selling. And boom, just like that, he took off.
Yeah.
So Brian, I want to invite you into the conversation here, specific to how this is all transpiring. Like, so you were instrumental in, of course, getting in front of Jon in his college years, and then he makes a transition from college into actual real world business. What was it in him that you saw that was so attractive, and then how did you see that play out in real life?
My good looks.
He's got pretty eyes and broad shoulders. I don't know who can pass that up. Well, Jon in particular, it's really easy. I wouldn't have known the guy was sleeping in his car because he oozes raw enthusiasm 24/7. He is always smiling. He always, even when he's coming here, stormed in here angry, like I'm not making enough money, or this on call is killing me, bro. Within 15 words, we're both laughing.
Yeah,
at his angriest. And that is the exact same way I am. So we connect on that level, that optimistic, if you will, level pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And Brandon, his best friend, not like that, but had equally enticing qualities in doing what we do. He's a much more serious guy.
Yeah.
But he is goal oriented. He's super driven. He's just like Jon. They both exemplify our core values: professional, empathetic, grateful, and driven to a T. And that the empathy and gratitude really, really shine in Jon in particular. Jon's somebody, even at his worst, at his lowest point, when he was all up in his head, I'd hire him again in a second for sure.
Appreciate that, bro.
Now, Brian, I know you have a passion to see people have opportunity and succeed with that opportunity. Did that come into play with Jon and kind of that whole collegiate approach?
Yeah, both of those guys. And every time I go to a trade school and I see a room full of people that I feel like, not everybody, but the majority, that I feel like we're on my same path, which is, boy, I could very easily turn left here and go down a dark road, like a lot of people I grew up with. Or somebody could give me the opportunity I got, and I could run with that and change the trajectory of God knows how many generations of my family.
That's funny you say that, because when I was in college, I never said this to you, but I even told my wife, my girlfriend at the time, babe, I think I'm going to go deal some drugs. Like, I need to make some money. Like, you know, I need something. So that's funny, because I really thought about taking that left turn.
Yeah, and not everybody listening to this can even comprehend that. But
no,
we both grew up in a place where
it's not easy.
you either, a lot of times you either do that or you ain't eating.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're stealing or dealing or you ain't eating.
Right.
It's just, there's not a whole lot of opportunity.
Yep.
So, yeah, if I get the chance to slide somebody an opportunity, you know, it's not fun at these trade schools, because a lot of times people already have a couple DUIs or felonies, or, you know, and they're not hireable for us. And, you know, being the brand that we represent, that we don't do that. So there were people in John's class who came up to me and said, yeah, man, I want the opportunity. And we go through the interview and talk about the background. It's like, wow, right. At 19 years old, you've already disqualified yourself from ever working here, potentially, or at least the next decade or so. So, yeah, it's tough because you can't get everybody the same opportunity, but man, would I like to.
Yeah. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
You were worth it.
Yeah, thank you.
So, John,
you got us Billy, so.
Yeah, right.
John, how did you end up in Florida then?
Florida, well, like Brian said, I was pretty burnt out. The opportunity, like, kind of, like, presented itself because my cousins wanted to go down to Florida, so they offered us to go down with them, and we went down. Brian mentioned they have a Ben Franklin down there, so I applied. He let them know that I was coming down.
Yeah, my man Mario shot him a text, said, I got a good dude for you.
Yeah.
He made it happen.
Nice.
And they made it happen, yeah.
Yeah. So how long were you in the southern side then?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And did you feel like in that case, like, how long had it been since you graduated college to moving to Florida?
I've only been here for a year, so then I left. So
okay.
Yeah, a year.
And your time in Florida, did you feel like you were able to refine your craft, like get better at actually plumbing?
Yes. Yeah. I was able to get really good because I did a lot of repipes. And over there, that's very common.
Yeah, explain that. Why so?
The repiping?
Yes.
So the repipes are very common over there because most houses have either galvanized, Quest, or something like that. And we don't repair galvanize or anything. So if that pipe goes, you have to repipe your entire house. So yeah, that's pretty much why they're so popular over there.
So that type of repetitive, labor-intensive jobs allowed you to really get good at refining your plumbing skills and
exactly, yeah. Because I got the visual. I'm a visual learner and hands-on learner. So if I'm able to repipe an entire house, you know, like I'll start picking up how things look behind the walls and stuff like that. With, you know what I mean? Kind of gives me some sort of X-ray vision.
Right.
I can have an idea where the pipes are going.
Right. Plus doing it so many times, like then it starts becoming second nature to you, and you're not even you don't have to think as much about it anymore because you just know or expect it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So you stayed in Florida for 2 years, and then what prompted the conversation about coming back north? Yeah,
I mean, I just missed the team that we had here. It was a great experience here that I had previously.
Kind of that first out of college experience too.
Exactly. Yeah, it helped me appreciate what I had when I left, you know. So I hit up Brian, and Katie got pregnant as well. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. So family was up here. It only made sense to move back to get my daughter with her cousins and stuff like that.
Wanted to see some snow again, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Gosh, no.
The 100-degree heat.
Sheesh.
All right. So you moved back up here, and now you have what I would say is the pretty rare experience of being second time employed by the same company.
Yeah.
What was it like going from first employment to second employment and that 2-year gap in between?
Different. It was like they hired a different person. Really, that's the way I would see it.
You.
Yeah. Because now I have some experience. I'm even more motivated now to do my job. So it's
and
a
you're
game
better
changer.
at doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
And what was it like coming back to a company that you had left for 2 years and then returned to? Like, was it the same place? Had it changed?
It didn't change. It's exactly what I expected, but the only thing, what I would say is, like, supervisors change and stuff like that, but that's about it.
Yeah, some faces and names
Yeah,
changed.
that's
but
about
the
it,
culture's
but-
kind of the same.
Exactly, and that's what I hoped for because that's what I wanted.
And what was it like? Help me understand that, John. What was it that was so attractive that you wanted? What is that culture that you speak of?
I don't even know how to describe it. It's awesome. That's what it is. The experience here is like family based. It's a team based. It makes me feel more home. Like I feel more comfortable here. It's just a great environment to work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. That's awesome. We love that. Love hearing your story. Have you felt like you have grown not as a plumber, but as a man?
Yes, sir.
And in what ways?
In so many ways. I really don't know how to go about that. It's just, I know as a man, I'm matured. I have goals, like I have a lot more goals.
Like how has that development impacted your life at home? That's really what I'm getting at.
What's that?
Like the maturation, the becoming goal oriented, the just growing up, really. What does that look like? How has that impacted you, Katie, your little one?
You mean like how I was able to buy a home, provide for them, and stuff
All
like
of that, all of those things.
Yeah. So I was able to buy a home for my wife, provide for my daughter, show a great man example for my daughter, all those things are a part of this company. It helped me build myself to be me, the real me.
To be the better version of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've heard that quote before about like when Michelangelo looked at a piece of marble, like a block of marble,
Mm-hmm.
right? He wasn't looking at the block. He was looking at the statue within, and it was his job to basically just remove the pieces that were not the statue.
Yeah.
Right. So like, that's the way that I think I look at you and say like, those things were all within you.
Yeah.
Right. They were refined. They were chiseled away. They were shaped and formed in such a way that the beauty and the richness came out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But they were within you.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
And so that's really exciting. And I got to ask you now, how old are you now?
27.
27. So you've owned a house for a year.
Yes,
You got one kid.
Yeah. Beautiful kid.
Beautiful little,
Yeah,
beautiful
little girl.
one. Beautiful
Yeah.
little girl. You have your
Mila.
wife.
Mila. Yeah.
Nice. You have your career. Like as you look back and reflect upon the 8-9 years of all that stuff that we just talked about, like what are you left thinking?
I'm just grateful. That's really it. It helps me be grateful, and it helps me to continue on. It helps me just appreciate things a little more.
And when you think about living out of a car and considering becoming a dealer and those types
Mm-hmm.
of unfortunate situations, that those could have beens, those left turns,
Mm-hmm.
And you think, what if? Like, what does that speak to you?
It could have been completely different. Like it could have been. I don't know where I would be if I would have taken those left turns. So like, it just helps me appreciate where I'm at right now, and you guys really.
Yeah. So, John, we have listeners to the podcast who perhaps are in the same situation as you. You know, maybe somebody flips them a card or sends them a podcast or a link and says, hey, check this out. You know, maybe it could be something you're interested in. Somebody who maybe at 18, 19, 20, 25 years of age is just kind of like, I'm not sure, man. What would you say to them now that you've gone through it all, now that you made the decisions to get into the home services? Do you have any regrets, which is perfectly fine if you do? And, you know, do you have any like encouragement for them?
Mm-hmm. Only regret is I wish I got here sooner, you know, because I see some of the younger guys, they come in and they don't even go to Stevens. And I'm like, gee. But I'm also glad that I did have that experience. What I would say is just keep going through it, man. It's worth it at the end. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting that you have that kind of take on it, and that is something that we continue to try to develop here as far as opening our doors to people with little background in any of the trades and providing them the opportunity to learn in an osmosis, like basically surround themselves in an environment of learning while still actually using their hands and being helpful to whoever is training them, and then allowing them to kind of rise through the ranks. So we love that, and I think that's really a strong model that can be developed across the country. And apprenticeship has been, you know, for many years. But like we want to see more of that. And I think there's such a hunger for people in that 18 to 22 year time of life that they're just looking for something.
That's where you want to go. Yeah, that at that age, that's where I would say is where to attack, really.
Right. Looking for a way up, looking for a way out, right? Looking for an opportunity.
Yep.
And it's such a refreshment to hear your story, and also, again, just big kudos to you for taking that and running with it.
Thank you.
Right? I mean, in your college class, how many people dropped out?
We started with 21, 22. I think we graduated with 8, 10.
Oh my word.
Within like the first week, like 7 dropped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rest got kicked out for like either drug use or got in trouble in fights or something, you know. Yeah. They made that left turn. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
That's right. And, you know, sometimes it's not for us, you know, you give it a shot and you try it, but other times you intentionally disqualify yourself.
Yes, sir.
And those are the frustrating things, and those are the stories that we don't want to hear about, that are heartbreaking because of, you know, the opportunity that could have been, what could have been.
Right. Yeah. Right?
And so it's really scary, cool to hear your story.
Yeah, it's scary to think about that. Yeah. What could have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you are now how many 6-year plumber?
Since I've graduated, it's been 5-year
plumber.
So
awesome,
right.
man.
Yeah.
So what are kind of your hopes and dreams now as you're kind of on the other side of a fairly tumultuous time of life, right? You know, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of moving left and right and everything else. And now you're kind of more established. You have a home, you have a family. What are you shooting for now? Like, what's your goals now?
My goals now is just to grow, continue to grow. It's not, you know what I mean? You're always trying to move up. You never want to stay stagnant. So you don't want that. So.
And, you know, a couple of years ago is I want a house, I want a family. Right. What's it now?
Now it's bigger house, nicer cars. You know, I want to be like Brian and Matt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, that's a beautiful house you got, Brian.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. John's frequented my bonfires. Yeah, we do some nice barbecuing and bonfire.
Yeah, I was just at Matt's new house the other day. Oh man. Yeah. He's like, I need a. He was like, I need to remodel my house. I'm like, remodel what? It's beautiful. Like, it's already like, I love the kitchen, man. It's amazing. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, right on the Lancaster Country Club golf course.
Your backyard is a golf course.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Need some strong windows if I'm going to be golfing over.
Yeah, yeah. So be more like Matt and Brian. Those are my shoot.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
you'll get there.
Yeah, pushing for it.
So Brian, as we kind of bring things in for a landing here, what's your perspective now as you've seen JP kind of develop from literally not knowing hardly anything about which which screwdriver, ladder
Tape
Phillips.
measure.
You can say it. He was one of the guys who came in from a trade school and held the adjustable wrench backwards.
Yeah.
100% happened.
Like,
What are they teaching you guys?
So as you've literally been at the front seat of seeing him go from that place to where he is now. Like, what do you have to say about that?
I'm definitely immensely proud of Jon. And even though Brandon, his best friend, isn't here with us anymore, I mean, he trusted us and our organization, our team enough to send his brother to us, saying that not only
excuse me, I sold him.
You sold his brother, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. He did sell Billy.
I pulled a U on him, all right?
But Brandon called me beforehand and said that this, not only did he want him to have a career here, but wanted him to experience our type of leadership, which is, as he put it, motivated him to do much bigger things than he thought possible, and always be setting goals and always be trying to better yourself and get to whatever your next level is, just to get to it. And we didn't stop supporting Brandon when he left us to go pursue a career in law enforcement. Truth be told, it seemed like a natural fit for him. And he was a producer for us, and he had great customer reviews, and he was a model tech, but it was just obvious that this was where he was meant to be. So we were big fans of him doing that. Still big fans that he just made it through SWAT school and may kick my door in at some point. Right. Who knows?
What are you into, bro, that he'll be kicking your door in?
Probably a mistake. It would probably be an accident, right? Wrong house.
No.
Yeah, but I'm very proud of Jon. I got to go to Jon's new home and see the family, and just really proud to see the husband and father that he is. And he's definitely a leader here in our organization now. And it's been, what year did you start here?
I started 2016.
2016. So this would have been.
Yeah. Well, no, it was like ending of 2015, because remember they let me leave school to come here and work.
Oh yeah. So this became his class
credit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is not something they do all the time. So
No.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would have been, he's one of my first people that we took from never being in plumbing, or now HVAC and electrical, never being in the trades at all, to a very real success story like myself. So Jon will always have a special place for me.
Thanks, bro.
That I'll be super proud that we were able to meet. And Jon, he's a guy who, if I ask for something, he's the first one to step up. Like if we need and this just happened a couple weekends ago, we needed an on-call weekend covered, and Jon was on call the following weekend.
Although I'm tired of running them, I still stepped up.
We had 2 weekends in a row, and that's not something that we overlook or don't appreciate, but that is who Jon is. So yeah, it's been a mutually extremely beneficial relationship, and I'm proud to call Jon my friend, especially for the fact that I saw him box now.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
We
You're a boxer?
We haven't talked about this on air, but we have a Waste No Day Facebook group. It's just Waste No Day ! Or find me on Facebook and hit me up, and I'll put you in it. I'm going to post that video of Jon in that group. Lumping a dude up, man. It was brutal.
Yeah.
What class are you boxing in?
No class. I never fought or anything, so I just go in there for a workout and just try to stay in shape,
Nice.
I haven't been there in 6 months, as you can see. But when I was going, I sparred a guy. He was also green too, and it just didn't go well for him.
All right, so
as I recall the story, he was talking a lot of trash about how it was going to go on top of it.
Yeah. So they actually showed up to the gym so hyped. We were relaxed, like we thought we were just getting a workout, like a light sparring thing. But man, they came in.
He has an entourage at this point?
Yeah. So they walked in like, we're gonna take over this gym, and then they started banging on our ring, and we're over here like, okay,
game on.
Yeah, so game on, exactly. And then they threw in our pro versus their pro. He destroyed them. He absolutely destroyed them. And then they were like, do you have anyone that's green? And then And then they go like, yeah, I have a guy here. He's been boxing for a year now. Never had a fight. And then they put a guy with me, the guy that in that video, and it was bad.
Oh, we'll definitely have to check that out, Brian.
I was throwing bombs.
It was all haymakers.
Yes.
I'm like,
it was with bad intentions. It's like if I had so much anger held up for so many years and just let it out on him. And I felt so bad afterwards because he couldn't function. Like, he really had a hard time, like, getting off the ring. When he was sitting down, he was like dozing off type thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they called it, didn't they? He didn't even stop.
Yeah, they were. It only went 30 seconds.
Oh my gracious!
He seemed sure he was going to come back.
Yeah.
But, wasn't looking good.
Yeah, so like he kept pressing me, so that's why I was like, all right, you know, like I was trying to like get a workout, and he was there to kill me, and I was like, nah.
All right, so you and Brian, who's winning that fight?
Me and Brian.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that to Brian. I'll never box a friend or family. Yeah, never.
Let me tell you who's never going to box Jon after watching that video. Brian.
No, I'll never do that. Yeah. Some of my buddies like to spar, like play around and stuff. I say I can't play around like that because it can get out of hand, and then I lose a friend, you know?
Yeah, right.
So
one punch goes a little bit too much, and
now it's fight time.
Yeah, now it's on.
I don't know. Brandon's got some pretty good training behind him now, buddy.
Oh no, Brandon can get it. Brandon knows. He knows. You don't play with me like that.
I just texted him, so we'll find out.
Yeah. Brandon don't play. Yeah.
Well, Jon, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I find it inspirational, and I think many other of our listeners will enjoy your story, and perhaps we can get this podcast into the hands of people who are in similar situations as you. And
check the trades out.
Hear those stories.
Do not pass up on plumbing, HVAC, and electrical.
I have so many friends that went to 4-year school and thousands of debt, and they don't have a job.
Oh.
I'm like, bro, what? Like, why'd you go to school? Yeah, it sounds nice. I went to a 4-year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But trade school, you know, I came out of there first year. I didn't even try. And what did I hit? Like 70? 60, 70,000?
Yeah.
Right out of college.
Yeah. Well, your first full year in the truck.
First,
Yep.
Yeah. And then years after that, it's been 85, 90. I'm pushing for 100K this year.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
You know, like,
that's awesome. Here, just in the last couple months, he's really taken off, and I'll leave it with his new ticket average. As I just looked it up, is 1,095.
Let's go.
It's over 5 times what it was when he left originally.
Trying to get that 1,500.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's the ticket average that gets you to 6 figures next year. Don't worry about that, bud.
Yeah, yep.
Well, Jon, thank you so much for being a part of our show
you.
today.
Yeah.
Like I said, your story it rings true, and it's awesome to see, and it's awesome to continue to see you developing. So kudos, man, and continue wasting no day.
Yeah, right? Thanks for having me.
Right.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, that's it for our podcast today. I hope you enjoyed hearing Jon's story as much as we did. It's just such a refreshing example of the possibilities that are out there. They're right in front of you. Whether you've been in the trade or not, the opportunities that lie within the trades are great, and the ladder to keep making yourself better, to keep providing more for your family, and kind of turning over a new page are just endless. And so it's really exciting to hear a real world example of that, and I hope you enjoyed hearing it. If you'd like to hear more stories like that or any other types of subject matter, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up in the comments, slap us with a 5-star review. We'd sure love to know that you're listening so we can continue bringing content that you like hearing. Like it was in Jon's story, we want to continue challenging you to look for that statue within the marble block. Keep chiseling away at the pieces that are a little rough and need refined, and keep trying to find that greatness that lies within you, and keep choosing to wake up each morning and waste no day.